Also, any community in Uganda that wishes to have a cultural institution, you can have, there is no problem. So long as it is a cultural institution without political and administrative powers. But during that time, we were in a process of a constitutional making exercise. Constitutional Commission was already moving around the country, trying to solicit people's views. I think when they were in Bunyoro said we must revive the Chabazenga. When they were in Bunyoro said we must revive our Bunyoro Kitara Kingdom. When they were in Busoga said we must revive the Chabazenga. When they were in Toro said we must revive Okama Toro. When they were in RWENZORI, specifically Kasese, I remember attending the CA consultative meeting, which was organized by Honorable Nois Bambale and Honorable Bramhendo.
I remember that.
You are not born yet.
But how do I know?
May his soul stories. May his soul rest in eternal peace. We attended as younger people, and the people brushed us off because we were young. By that time, I was in senior 5.
Or in senior 5.
Senior 5.
Because you joined parliament at 18 years, right?
Not 18 years, please. It was about 27 years. So we were there as younger people with a lot of academic issues. And we stood up. We said, okay, you, our senior delegates, we send you with a specific message that RWENZURURU Kingdom be revived. Oh my God. It became a very hot debate in the RWENZORI sub-region between the royalists and the Republicans. Definitely the Republicans, the liberal Republicans, were led by Honorable Christopher Chionga. And the royalists were led by Honorable Lois Bombali by that time. So the debate continued. We were supported by the king in the United States. And indeed, it became a hot debate during CA. Should we revive, beyond Uganda, should we revive other cultural institutions, other kingdoms? Should they be kingdoms? Of course, I said, no. We cannot create kingdoms now. This is a republic. We can only create cultural institutions. Cultural institutions without administrative and political powers. I don't know whether very many people don't know the difference between a cultural institution and a kingdom.
But Uganda seems to be a kingdom.
Where is the administrative powers? Where are the political powers?
Because they have even...
No, they have their own.
They have a budget.
They have their own to govern themselves as a cultural institution of the Baganda people and others who pay allegiance to it.
So what is the difference between a kingdom and
those administrative powers, those political powers within the political Paris politics cannot go beyond the mango, And you're asking what is the difference?
What is the difference between a kingdom and a cultural institution?
Well,
and what does the constitution
say? A kingdom is administrative. That's administrative powers. A kingdom has the kingdom politics. A kingdom has territory. It's territorial. It claims a territory. Those are the three significant differences. A cultural institution.
So what do you have in Uganda now?
We have cultural institutions created by the Constitution. If you read the Constitution of the Republic of Uganda, it created cultural institutions. It did
not kingdoms.
No, not dynasties.
Wow.
Because in those institutions, it removed administrative powers,
and
it removed the territorial claims, it removed the political powers.
So plain and clear, just a cultural institution.
No power, but you can no boundary, no what? No. You can do the administration, you can do your politics, it remains with you. Now,
we'll get back to the discussion. Now, in 1996, they bring back the cultural institutions.
In 1994, during the CA debate, 1995, the promulgation of the new constitution create cultural institutions across the board.
Unfortunately.
So long as a community so wish.
Unfortunately, Obusinga RWENZURURU misses. Yes.
No, it was just a debate. The constitution had created it.
No, I mean they had created
One.
it. But it was not
The constitution created cultural institutions for any community that wishes.
That's true.
We were a community that
wishes.
Yeah.
But
what remained was the debate.
Recognition.
Was the debate. Should they be recognized or not? Why are you there? Are you among the traditional cultural institutions in Uganda?
That was
and we discovered we were not recognized.
That's
or both did not recognize
that's
as a cultural institution.
That's true.
But at the same time, hasn't the constitution created
a
window that those who wishes can have? So we used that window.
But you are not recognized for a very long time.
Yes, it was a debate between the Republicans and the Royalists.
Now that's why I want
to until the debate was won by the Royalists in terms of the majority and in terms of a constitutional right. Because the constitution has created, and therefore you cannot deny any community in Uganda. Now, even if it means two.
Let us now go step by step, Honorable. Now the king is in the US. They have programmated.
They have made
the 1995 constitution, which restored the cultural institutions. Now the Obusinga RWENZURURU is not recognized. Now during that gap, there were very many discussions. You know, the Kajura Commission, how it came about. Now I want you to let us look into that. Why did some communities in Rwenzori, specifically Obusinga RWENZURURU, refuse that they shouldn't recognize Obusinga RWENZURURU? And that discussion was led by
It is embedded in our history. The history of
resistance.
Yes, the history of the Obusinga RWENZURURU. Remember in 1962, we discussed the other day that there was a rebellion.
That was a rebellion. You talked of two rebellions, even the Bayora
rebellion, the RWENZURURU rebellion. Those rebellions created a militarized the population.
A militia, like population.
So, from 1962 up to 1982, RWENZURURU created a militant, radical population in the mountains. Of which, if you are not in the line of their thinking, you either join us or you are enemy. And they treat you so.
You're either for or against.
If you are against us, you are the enemy. If you are not for
so
us,
that is where the word abakolikoli came from.
Aha, abakolikoli. Now, I told you that when Amini gave us the two administrative units, it created a division between the moderates and the extremists. Now, the moderates continued, even after the promulgation of the new constitution, to say we cannot return the RWENZURURU kingdom. It is coming to become militant and cause mayhem in the mountains. And that was their argument. It is coming to divide the people between the extremists and the moderates. And that was the argument. And then for us, we were like, no, the constitution has created something different. There is no how, if RWENZURURU kingdom is recognized as a cultural institution, there is no way how it can still become a militant and cause mayhem in the mountains. It will restrict itself to a cultural standards. So that debate took long until somehow we were understood. Because the continuation of denying us a cultural institution was simply a continuation of denying us our constitutional right, repeating what Toro had done. So President Museveni is there, the listening president. In his own wisdom, he said, now, if we have given Buganda, if we have given Chabazinga, if we have given Bunyoro, if we have given Toro, and the constitution that we have given to ourselves says any community that wishes can have a cultural institution, isn't Bakonzo people, RWENZURURU people, a community in Uganda?
But that was a very long...
People said, yes, it is a community in Uganda. Constitutionally, do we have a right to continue denying them their constitutional right? Those who were opposed to us, they said no. Now, that is when you saw a lot of research going on. The Kajura, Kabananuche, Makere professor, trying to understand exactly what is the...
But didn't this issue become political? Because, hold a bit there. Because during your earliest years as an opposition stalwart in the FDC, you were seen, OBUSINGA RWENZORI was seen as another arm of the opposition people. Whoever subscribed to the opposition was termed as a royalist and a person who supports OBUSINGA. Time reached in Kasese, even when government, the NRM people would fear to associate with the OBUSINGA RWENZORI. Why did it reach right to that level?
Well, in fact, that debate of OBUSINGA RWENZORI, it is the very debate that pushed me into the politics. The politics.
You joined politics in 1996 or 2001?
96.
96.
96.
That is when you first went to parliament.
Yes. We realized, we the royalists, we realized that without a political voice, we may not be heard. And therefore we may not be recognized. And actually the royalists asked me, Chiwanzanga, now that you have reached somewhere in the level of education, run for this seat.
Because for you, you never used even to look for an election.
Not at all.
Because
not for campaign. I used not to campaign.
You're a son
in
of the king.
In Kasese, I used not to campaign.
I
use it just
you cannot campaign.
I use it just to go around and pose around. I said, son of a man. And the royalists decided
and
that...
you have even carried that to Vundivujo.
Kabisa. In the whole of RWENZORI. In fact, the royalists said, without a political voice, there is nothing we are going to get from that political document, which is the constitution. Chiwanzanga go to parliament and become a symbol of the RWENZORI royalists. And that's what exactly they did. They sent me to parliament, and they did. I became a symbol of the RWENZORI kingdom in that parliament. That's 1996. After people had discovered that I come from the RWENZORI kingdom, they started addressing me as, yes, priest, English they speak. Yes, priest of RWENZORI. Yes, priest of... So I became a symbol. And I used the platform to advocate for the recognition of the RWENZORI kingdom. And I think I painted a picture that the RWENZORI kingdom we are looking for, it's not the RWENZORI kingdom of the 1962 to 1982. Because in 1982, there are some elements of the RWENZORI character that we share.
I want you to paint a picture of those discussions you had, because now the king, who was living in the US, I think returns in 2001. Am I mistaken?
No,
is it 98?
The first return was in 1998. 1998,
yeah. My history
because
serves me
there
well.
was some accusation.
So
it is also a debate of another day.
Now, 1998, he returns. He is received in Entebbe as a king.
Yes.
Even when
for us who were the royalists, we received him as a king.
Even when he was not
those who were not the royalists received him as Charles Wisdom. It was still a controversy. But it was a continuation.
So now he returns. Did his return in 98 at least put in more?
Oh, it boosted the return of the king in 1998. I think in November. It boosted the demand for the cultural institution, because the whole mountain rolled to Entebbe, Kampala to celebrate the return of the king, despite of the accusations leveled against him.
What were the accusations?
It is a debate of another day.
On South Africa?
If you want. We shall have, this is a public discussion.
Now the king returns. They constitute the Kajura commission.
First of all, Kabananuki. research.
It was the Kabananuke research first.
To do academic work on the RWENZURURU.
Don't you think the public perception and image that was shown at golf course when Dr. Kizza Besigye arrived, you remember that day?
You are jumping the truth. Now we are moving towards the recognition. The
Yes.
day of recognition.
Yes. No, days before recognition.
Nimekimbia sana.
Nimekimbia sana. So what happens after the Kajura Commission report?
Kabananuche report. Kabananuche moved the whole mountain to do academic analysis of what is exactly RWENZURURU. What do they want? Will they conform to the new constitution, to the parameters of the new constitution? Do they understand the cultural institution? Does this cultural institution have support? That's it. And the Kabananuche report clearly states, have you ever seen it?
I've never.
But in the Bakonzo, you don't read it. It's painful. Kabananuche report states that the cultural institution is heavily supported. And if it is granted in the mountain, if it is given to the mountain people, specifically the Bakonzo Bayira, it will spur development and cause peace and security and stability in the mountains. On the basis of which, after President Museveni had received it, he caused now the Kajura report to go and do political investigation and guide the people on the parameters of the constitution and what they should expect when finally they are granted the kingdom.
Now that was which year?
19?
Not 2000.
2001, 2002, 2003. Yes, the Kajura report.
Now, I think it was around there because...
Kabananuche was around the 2000. The Kajura report was around 2007. 6, 7, 8.
Yeah, I remember very well. Now, now, Kajura has submitted his report.
To President Museveni.
It has confirmed that the Bakonzo wanted their cultural institution
The
back.
majority of the Bakonzo.
Majority of them.
They wanted their
And
cultural
then
institution.
Dr. Chionga, who was on the other side, also concedes.
He's
and
convinced.
And he's convinced.
That if it can only conform to Kabananuche report and recommendations, if it can conform to the constitution and Kajura report recommendations, I, Crispus Chionga, have no problem.
Some people believe that Crispus Chionga, the doctor, blocked the recognition way time before he was convinced.
No, I cannot say that he blocked the recognition. It was a debate among us that took long. Because he was of the other school of thought.
He was leading that school of thought.
That the recognition of the RWENZURU kingdom will cause mayhem in the mountain. And our school of thought was, no, it's already provided for in the constitution. If we can conform to the constitution guideline, it will not. You are running away from your own shadow.
Okay.
So it was a debate that took long. And finally, when we narrowed the debate and caused an understanding,
did the Kajura report also have those views from the people there who still harbored the state's elements?
Yes, if you read his report, if you read his recommendations, he recommended that the RWENZURURU, one of the recommendations, recognize the kingdom of RWENZURU kingdom for the Bakonzo people. But there should be sensitization of the communities on how cultural institution, what the constitution created, how the cultural institutions are run, and what government expects from a cultural institution.
Because you know,
they should sustain people, they should mobilize people, which I suspect it was not done.
Because you know, when you see
at the
history of narrated here, through those 1950s, 1940s, some people are still alive, and who must have been part of the movement that started earlier as an independent state, like we're explaining, and still harbor those sentiments of the state. I don't think if these people have been attended to. That is why even after the recognition, there have been several clashes in the kingdom.
The state element was harbored by the RWENZURU veterans. For them, despite of the new constitution creating cultural institutions, psychologically, and it is all over the world, they refused to believe that this is a cultural institution. They still harbored sentiments of a state. And I think that caused our recent challenges, which is a debate of another day. And fortunately or unfortunately, including their children, their children, some of us were still harboring the state sentiments. Thank to God Almighty, for me, from up, from the mountain, I went to school. I went to school, fast-tracked my education, and I love reading. And I love listening to political stories. So when they were in the CA, we were listening to them. And because of my literary education, I discovered what the Constituent Assembly created. And this is what I have been explaining to other children of the RWENZURURU. But it has been very hard for them to believe, including the lower Channel Africa.
So, Honorable, how did the recognition affect the Bakonza and the Bamba communities? Because you remember, when they recognized OBUSINGA RWENZURURU, ideally, the Bamba were part of the
RWENZURURU struggle.
Of the RWENZURURU struggle.
The RWENZURURU movement.
And when even during the recognition at the Gold Coast in 2009, the Abamba were ready to be part of the OBUSINGA RWENZURURU. Now, how does this recognition affect the brotherhood between these two communities? Because we have the Bamba, we have the Bakonzo, and the Basongora, who are part of the original movement. Now, how does this recognition affect these communities?
It affected these communities positively and negatively.
Can we start with the positive side?
Very good. The recognition of the RWENZURURU kingdom gave rise to other communities to say, if the Bakonzo have go to theirs, why not us? Why not us? In fact, to give them cultural self-esteem.
They wanted to exercise their constitutional mandate.
That if the Bakonzo have been recognized as a cultural institution. And by the way, Kajura report says the RWENZURURU kingdom is a kingdom specifically for the Bakonzo people. Because he discovered that 99% of the Bakonzo support the cultural institution. So when he says...
And they do not share the culture.
No, he says grant the RWENZURURU kingdom, give them their kingdom, but specifically for the Bakonzo people. Meaning, Bawesi Bamba, not there. Basongora Banyabindi, not there. And this is the reality of Israel.
Aren't the Bawesi Bamba different people?
Bawesi Bamba, and those are two communities. Yes.
Perfect.
Two communities. So, the recognition of the RWENZURURU kingdom gave rise to self-esteem of other minority groups in the RWENZURURU sub-region. And therefore, we saw the rebirth of Ovudingie Bwambwamba. We saw the claim by Basongora people to have their own cultural institution. We saw the claim by the Banyabindi people to have their cultural institution without fear or favor. It gave other minority communities self-esteem. And for me, that's another.
Now, where do the Bawisi fall?
Now,
because you have narrated the Basongora.
I don't want to discuss other communities.
Because
it will cause me problems.
They also need to read the constitution and interpret it.
But let me do it as an academic. Let me give an academic answer. I hope my friends will not view it as a political statement. It's an academic answer. You have asked where do the Bawisi?
No, the Bawisi, because the Bamba.
The Bawisi fall.
Yeah.
I hope my friends will see it from the academic point of view. If you want to understand how countries are created from different cultures, you visit Obudinga Bwabwamba. The integration between the Bamba Bawisi and the Bavanuma is total. And some of us who are Pan-Africanists, it's a model to study and to be proud of. 3 communities almost speak the same language. 3 communities almost have the same cultures. 3 communities almost have the same tradition. 3 communities have the same values.
And names.
Name it. Total integration. And that's what we are looking for in Uganda and in Africa. And not until we reach that level, then Uganda and Africa, we can call ourselves a nation. So, where does it leave the Bawese? The Bawese Bamba Bavanuma, they are an integrated community that has the same values, common aspirations, which is really positive if we wanted to build a society called Africa, called Uganda. So it doesn't leave them anywhere. They are so integrated that now they feel they are one and the same.
Now, going back to the other point, the OBUSINGA RWENZURURU has been recognized. The Bamba asking questions that we also need our recognition. The Basongora also say we need recognition. Now, in that quest for recognition, there are clashes in RWENZORI in 2016. How do you take into that?
Well, those clashes were very unfortunate. Very, very unfortunate. Because they shouldn't have happened.
Let us start with those that were between the Konzo people and the Basongora.
They shouldn't have happened. If they were about clashes over culture, they should not have happened. Because the Basongora have a distinct culture from the Bakonzo. And there is no way, based on the arrangement of the new constitution, you can assimilate them.
And I have read in history that these Basongora are the original inhabitants of Kasese. Is that true?
Man, that is a bit of another...
Now, I've read some history.
You have to go
You
back,
may not be on record.
You have to go back to Rend pest in Angola. That disease that used to kill the cows. And whenever Rend pest came, they would migrate. Whenever there was a drought, they would migrate. They crossed Kazanga Channel and came and settled in Hima. I read that research from them.
Yes.
Not us.
No, not from you, but from other...
from them, not us. That history is not written by the Bakonzo people.
Oh.
But it's written by the Basongora themselves.
That they are the original...
No! They crossed Kazanga Channel.
Oh.
Came and settled
later
at Hima. Hima.
Okay.
Hima is named after them.
So
it is a debate of another day. The original habitants of RWENZORI. I don't want to go there.
Okay, now let us go back to the point now. They have recognized OBUSINGA RWENZURURU. The minorities are saying, no, we also want ours.
Yes.
And there was a clash in Kasese.
Yes, which was unfortunate. It
Very
shouldn't have taken place. Their demand for their cultural recognition, their demand for their cultural pride and self-esteem should have been left to government of Uganda to handle. Not one community to handle. It's like we are a community of the Bakonzo Baida people, and you are another community, and you are telling us not to express ourselves.
I think they did not understand this because you said
yes, they didn't.
That's the word. Do not have territorial boundaries.
Territorial, and you cannot be a cultural institution to swallow another community which is not willing to be swallowed by you. It's a crime.
Might this be the reason why the recognition has delayed?
Of what?
Of the Basongora community.
I don't know why it has delayed. It's between the Basongora people and the central government. It's not between the Basongora people and Bakonzo people. Personally, I don't have any problem. Basongora having their self-esteem, having their pride in their culture, for them to confess their culture. They can confess it as a community. They can confess it as a cultural institution.
As a leader who has
There's
been an MP for Songora South and who is actually a royal, where do you point the cause for these unrests that happened?
It was a misunderstanding, Sebo. It is because Central government did not listen to Kajura recommendation. Before recognition of the RWENZURURU kingdom, go and sensitize the people. And the sensitization was not done. And that's the recommendation in number 3 in the Kajura report. People were not sensitized.
Okay.
Even now, I don't know why the Ministry of Gender does not come up with a program to go and sensitize people on cultural institution. Tell them their duties, tell them their roles, tell them their responsibilities, give them their boundaries.
Now, shortly after the Kasese, the disagreements between the minority groups and then the OBUSINGA RWENZURURU leadership, we had another clash in Ibundibujo, still between the...
When is that?
2016.
2014?
Not 14, yeah, around I think 14.
It was the same.
It was the same?
It was a continuation of the same.
Okay. Now, why do you think there was a perception by some OBUSINGA RWENZURURU royalists believing that they shouldn't tie away other cultural institutions from their kingdom?
It was a historical baggage. Historical baggage. You know, these kingdoms came with historical sentiments. They have returned kingdoms, we are a kingdom. This is our territory. This is our administration. Nobody else should speak. But some of us who discovered earlier that these are cultural institutions about communities in Uganda who were at ease. And we continued explaining. There is no community which can swallow the other in terms of culture. Well, unless you have agreed, unless you have that arrangement, that understanding, that memorandum of understanding to cooperate in the issues of culture. And that memorandum of understanding would spell out the roles of each community within a single cultural institution.
Well, we shall be right back to discuss the clashes that happened in Kasese. And we understand there were very many misunderstandings between the OBUSINGA RWENZURURU believers and royalists and other cultural institutions of the minority groups in Kasese. We also look at the clashes that happened between the OBUSINGA RWENZURURU and the central government, because we are hosting somebody that is resourceful to take us through that. Let us go into a very short commercial break with Maganjo Grain Millers. We shall be right back.
Mu mutima gwa Uganda mulimu ekimere eky'enjawulo era nga kijiddwamu omutindo ogusukkulumye. Eŋŋano ya jiko nga ekolebwa ab'Amaganjo Grain Millers. Kola ebyokulya eby'omulembe nga okozesa jiko, owoomerwe ne famiri yo ne ku mikolo gyo. Yimusa omutindo gw'enfumba yo, oyimuse essanyu lyo nga okozesa eŋŋano ya jiko. Ekolebwa ab'Amaganjo Grain Millers. Eŋŋano ya jiko evaamu ebyokulya ebiwooma nga byagalwa, woomerwa akaseera konna nga okozesa eŋŋano ya jiko. Maganjo Grain Millers, feeding nations. Mu mutima gwa Uganda mulimu ekimere eky'enjawulo era nga kijiddwamu omutindo ogusukkulumye. Eŋŋano ya jiko nga ekolebwa ab'Amaganjo Grain Millers. Kola ebyokulya eby'omulembe nga okozesa jiko, owoomerwe ne famiri yo ne ku mikolo gyo. Yimusa omutindo gw'enfumba yo, oyimuse essanyu lyo nga okozesa eŋŋano ya jiko. Ekolebwa ab'Amaganjo Grain Millers. Eŋŋano ya jiko evaamu ebyokulya ebiwooma nga byagalwa, woomerwa akaseera konna nga okozesa eŋŋano ya jiko. Maganjo Grain Millers, feeding nations. Mu mutima gwa Uganda mulimu ekimere eky'enjawulo era nga kijiddwamu omutindo ogusukkulumye. Eŋŋano ya jiko nga ekolebwa ab'Amaganjo Grain Millers. Kola ebyokulya eby'omulembe nga okozesa jiko, owoomerwe ne famiri yo ne ku mikolo gyo. Yimusa omutindo gw'enfumba yo, oyimuse essanyu lyo nga okozesa eŋŋano ya jiko. Ekolebwa ab'Amaganjo Grain Millers. Eŋŋano ya jiko evaamu ebyokulya ebiwooma nga byagalwa, woomerwa akaseera konna nga okozesa engano ya jiko. Maganjo Grain Millers, feeding nations.
That in 2016, the central government attacked the Ruhikira Royal Palace. They have reasons for the attack, but after several years, they have mended the relationship and they are now working together. But we cannot just let history pass by. We have to look into it so that we learn from the past mistakes. Now today, we are looking into that with Honorable Christopher Chibanzanga Tabani. Now, Honorable, after the recognition of Singapore RWENZURURU, they enroll the Royal Guards. The Royal Guards later becoming a problem of themselves and bringing unrest. Did you oversee this, that the Royal Guards that were recruited would be a problem?
I don't want to discuss that topic. It's really a painful topic. I wish it would be a topic for another day.
But we cannot avoid it today because that is part of now the journey where we have passed through fire.
The basis of which we had that chaos in the RWENZURURU sub-region, in the RWENZURURU sub-region, and specifically in the cultural institution, was premised on a wrong premises, on a misconception.
Misconception by who?
By both the royalists and government. What is if government had listened to Kajura recommendation? That before Kajura recommendation number 3, before recognizing the of Singapore RWENZURURU, go and sensitize the people on what you have given them and it was not done. So we saw the recognition, I think, on the 19th. Was it the 19th? I will check my facts.
The recognition was on 19th.
Without sensitizing the people, October, without sensitizing the people. And all of those royal guards and the Semang were recruited on a wrong premise that we have the RWENZURURU kingdom state. And yet the constitution and the recognition by the president, to that effect, he was removing the state from a cultural institution. I remember having a very long debate because they were, the first one was, we had also ministers of state. Some of us were saying, which state?
Cabinet ministers and then ministers.
The constitution has removed the state. The constitution has removed. So it was a wrong debate. So it was on a wrong premise.
So the cabinet had the ministers of state.
Government has failed to sensitize the people, and the people are doing what they know best. And therefore the clash. Which was very, very unfortunate.
Did the local people understand that the kingdom must operate as a cultural institution and not as a state?
Many people do not understand. Very many local people that did not understand. Even we still having people who don't even understand it.
That is why we are hosting you
especially
here.
When
to let the public
when this
know.
debate comes from me, who is a royalist, people don't understand. But I'm simply discussing this on the premises of the new constitution.
They will understand that a kingdom must operate. They will understand now. They're watching the program. They should understand that a cultural institution must operate as a cultural institution and not as a state.
But let me say this as we sum up. I hope you will not ask me.
No, we are not summing it up.
You will not ask me another question related to those clashes. Let me sum it up as a political scientist.
I never wanted to sum it up.
That clash was a clash between the petty nationalism and the Republicans. In this country, we have nationalists who believe in Uganda. And the debate is about to create Uganda as a nation. And then we have some sections of people who still have petty communal nationalism tendencies. And therefore,
of creating quasi states.
Small, within a republic. Small states within a republic. And the Republicans will continue clashing. And therefore, this one I have termed it as as the labor pains of building Uganda as a nation. Let me give an example. Have you heard of the Bavandimwe?
Abavandimwe.
The Bavandimwe? Have you listened to their communal sentiments? Their petty nationalism statements? As the light follows the day, or the day follows the night, they are going to clash with the nationalists in Uganda if they don't shed away their petty nationalism demands agitation. A statement that I looked at and I said, what is this? One of them was saying, if you don't recognize us, M23 will be here. And if you don't want us here, then allow us to go with our land. If those petty nationalism sentiments continue, they are going to clash with the Ugandan nationalists, Republicans. And you will see what...
So that is what happened in RWENZORI?
Yes.
Don't you think you also carry the burden of not explaining to the local people what they should have done?
Man, a time came when my voice was in a minority.
I remember I remember you and Honorable Kabyanga taking lead. Producer.
I think also Kabyanga abandoned it because...
You were too.
We were many.
No, who are taking lead in explaining to the people.
Well, you needed to have a spine cord. You needed to be a man. You needed to be a son of a man.
To speak out.
To explain the Constitution provision. The Act of 2011. Parliamentary Act of 2011. What it created exactly. You needed to be a man because we were facing petty nationalism.
Don't you think the petty nationalism was being propagated and being led by the then political elite group that would explain to the people?
Let me now tell you the challenges that we had. We were dealing with the petty nationalists, the communal nationalists, tribal nationalists. Let me tell them. Let me say this. Let me use this for lack of better words. Tribal nationalists against the Republican nationalists. And because of opportunists, the elite class, including the RWENZORI Eagle Eye, where you were a member.
No, me, I literally ran.
Started siding with the petty nationalists against...
To hit the agenda of the Republicans.
The Uganda nationalists.
The Uganda nationalists.
Yes. And it was a very big challenge. For me, unfortunately, or fortunately, I numbers two. I am a Uganda, an African nationalist. I believe in Uganda. Since 1982, I believe in Uganda. I believe in Africa. And at the same time, I believe that our communities are building blocks to build a society called Uganda. And I normally leave this analogy. I say, but have you ever seen a house clashing? This house. It has sand. It has cement. It has timber. It has mabate. It has electricity. And when you put all those together, you have a house. Uganda, the same thing. We have the Bakonzo, we have the Banyabindi, we have the Baganda, we have the Batua, we have the Basoga. We have... All those communities should come together and build Uganda community. That's my belief. And that belief always is clashing with the beliefs of the Vavandema and the other petty nationalists within Uganda. Some people think in this country that their tribes are so important than in the Uganda community, which belief I don't share. So long as you're Ugandan, you're Mkonzo, you are important as the Munyabende. And therefore, when you form a community called Uganda, you all come together for a common good.
So, Honorable, I want us to return to, you wanted to summarize it, but when those clashes happened, yes, every other person becomes emotional because most people died. And it is an event that should never happen at all to our community.
To any community in Uganda.
And
that's why I am appealing to Vavandima. Please reduce on communal sentiments.
Abavandimwe.
Reduce on communal sentiments. You are going to clash with the Ugandan nationalists.
Which is government.
Yes. Which is some of us.
So, no, I was trying, did you start having talks with the government on how you can calm the situation?
Of course.
Because I understand you are a very good, great friend of the former IGP, Kale Kaihura. And I think you had a part in playing to calm down the situation.
Let me tell you, that's how I got in touch with President Museveni. I was a member of the opposition by that time.
FDC.
Correct. But when President Museveni discovered that I am a royal, but with a Ugandan nationalist tendency.
A Republican.
Republican nationalist tendency. And at the same time a traditionalist. That's how I got near him.
So that is when you when you went to Entebbe and he put
and
your...
For you only remember that one. I could go to Nakasero, we sit down and discuss how would we bring sanity to RWENZORI.
But many people are thinking that you are about off.
No way.
Because that happened immediately after the clashes happening in the RWENZORI.
There is no amount of money which you can use to buy me. For me, you can only buy me by your good reasoning.
Honorable, that happened after the clashes in RWENZORI. They saw you crossing to NRA.
Yes, because I discovered that the only way to mitigate clashes in RWENZORI sub-region is to join the ruling party. And we continue advocating for what we need from within. But for us standing here as petty nationalists against the state Republicans, nationals, it was going to be the 1962
now,
again.
Honorable, we have had recurrent clashes happening time and again in the RWENZORI. Even recent, there were some misled group of Bakonzo Baira.
Recently when?
Recently, last year.
It was 1st November.
Getting Rundra.
1st November 2025.
Perfect. Getting an eggplant and attacking military installations. Who do you think is still imparting these insinuations into the heads of the Vaida? And what can be done to help us solve this?
Let me tell you, 1st November 2005, I have refused to believe, I continue refusing to believe that it was about the Baira Bakonzo nationalists, petty nationalists.
It was about what?
No, we don't know. I am still demanding from the security agencies. Tell us exactly what happened.
The 1st November,
they arrested,
you're talking of the 1st November 2025?
Yes. That one I have refused to believe that it was caused by the Bakonzo nationalists. Unless the security agencies tell us the truth. And I'm still demanding for the truth. And I have asked them to tell me the truth. Who was behind the clash of 1st November 2025? Who?
Have they given you an answer?
No, they keep on dodging. They picked around 70 people and they took them to prison in Mbare. Up to now, there is no trial. I keep on demanding, telling me who was behind it. When we discovered that our boys were misled in 2014, and they got involved in the 2014, 2015, 2016 fracas, we came out and said, please, give us an opportunity to talk to our people. In other words, we took responsibility. I'm going to talk about Ep2 kabihena kolechi. Ep2 kakolechi. Ep2 ikabihaya iyena lere. Sendo wa kubo mwakwa akatsopa. me and Kabyanka and Honorable Christmas Chiong, we stood up and said, we take responsibility. But give us a chance to mobilize our people, to sensitize our people. Now, who has taken a responsibility of 1st November 2025? Who? Who are the leaders? Who are the perpetrators?
As a son to the president, because he calls you your son. You're his son. Yes, you're his son. Have you shared with him all this because he's the CIC?
I'm yet to meet him over that thing. That thing is
because if the tutor has failed to
that thing is still on my mind. Who are the perpetrators of 1st November 2025? RWENZORI people, especially the Bayira Bakos, we are tired of being used.
But which person in the right mind uses Endrunda to attack a person with a
That's
gun?
the question. That's the question.
But
the leadership, and those people were found with a lot of money.
With a lot of money?
A lot of money. And the new currency. And anybody would be found with $1 million. And the so-called ringleader was also sought at on site, cannot even raise a meal for a day. Muganzi. So we are there. We don't go there. We're still demanding from the security agency to tell us who are the perpetrators, who are the actors, and who are the victims.
Well, tomorrow we shall be starting from there as we look into the future of Singawa RWENZURURU, because we have been looking into the past and the dark past of Singawa RWENZURURU. It is one of the cultural institutions in Uganda that has gone through a lot. But we so believe that the future will be well and in the right direction. Tune in tomorrow at 8 p.m. as we host Honorable Chibanzanga Christopher again, now we look into the rebirth of the new Obusinga
and the
rebranding of Singawa RWENZURURU. Keep it LC Africa, the Content Factory. I remain HASON MUTUNZI Gwambale from Kasese, but serving from here in Kampala.
Mu mutima gwa Uganda mulimu ekimere ekyenjawulo era nga kijiddwamu omutindo ogusukkulumye. Engano ya jiko nga ekolebwa ab'amaganjo grain millers. Kola ebyokulya eby'omulembe nga okozesa jiko owomerwe ne famiri yo ne ku mikolo gyo. Yimusa omutindo gw'enfumba yo oyimuse essanyu lyo nga okozesa engano ya jiko. Ekolebwa ab'amaganjo grain millers. Engano ya jiko evaamu ebyokulya ebiwooma nga byagalwa, woomerwa akaseera konna nga okozesa engano ya jiko. Maganjo grain millers.